I was talking to my best pal the other day. He's absolutely crushing it at the moment, working remotely, travelling around the world, and having a rare old time by all accounts. He's been to Argentina, Canada, Brazil, and loads of other places, and he's only at the start of his journey. Initially, when I was talking to him, he was regaling me with his exploits. I felt the tinge of what could have possibly been the beginnings of what might have turned into envy, and I think that's only natural, but I counteracted it and squashed it at its source in two ways. Firstly, I injected some logic, reminding myself that I have a nice life here in Bulgaria, great place to live, great girlfriend, good job. The only thing that's missing is earning a bit more money, which would grant me the freedom to go where I please when I please. And this is the second way I douse the weeds of envy, with inspiration and motivation. I'm now pretty focused on building some kind of successful online business, which will eventually earn me money semi-passively, giving me a nice amount of control over my own faculties. I've given myself a target of 2 years to achieve this. But anyway, this video is not about envy or goals or motivation or any of that shite. You read the title, it's about pressure. Tying in with my newfound goals, I realised I had to level up all areas of my life. So I've started going to the gym, stopped eating meat and bread and shite, I've quit playing video games, I've stopped visiting the hub, trying to read more, I'm working on creating, meditating, journaling, all that good stuff. I mean, it sounds good. So I told my friend about this and he said,
"Ben, you always do this. You always put so much pressure on yourself."
And this really got me thinking. Was I putting pressure on myself by trying to stop a bunch of unproductive, damaging and unfulfilling habits? Or would the real pressure come from continuing my life in that way? Persisting with my sedentary lifestyle would put huge pressure on my body and my health, both mental and physical. If I continue to live like a lazy slob, then I would continue to be a weak and overweight man. As entering my 30s, I've noticed that my dietary choices of the past years have started to show themselves in my physical appearance, most notably in my face and my flabby dad bod beer belly. I could no longer eat as much junk as I like and expect not to turn into a big fat fuck. My lack of physical exercise and sheer ignorance as to how important this is to a healthy and happy life meant I had next to no muscles, and my cardio was in a sorry state. I was getting out of breath after a minute of light jogging. This of course affected my confidence, as I wasn't happy and my bulging stomach was causing me to recoil in disgust when I saw it. Now that's pressure. I could either wallow and complain or take action. I chose the latter. My video game addiction was putting pressure on my attention and focus. Rather than working on building my YouTube channel or improving some essential skills like video editing, videography, script writing, thumbnail design, etc., I was sinking hours upon hours into Football Manager, literally dreaming about my team, setting so much importance to achieving greatness with my virtual football squad, forming what felt like real connections with my players in the game. There was one wee wonder kid striker that I had, Ethan Laidlaw. He was banging in like 40 goals a season for me, and I literally loved the guy, like he was my own son. And he was nothing but a bunch of numbers and statistics interpreted by the game to score me goals. Virtual goals. My girlfriend wouldn't see me for hours. I'd be sitting all hunched up and crooked on this shitey old couch, glued to my computer, and when I emerged at the end of the day after like 10 hours of hardly fucking moving, I would tell her delightedly that I had won the SPL with Hibs, only to get a kind of semi-pitying, semi-disgusted look in return, as she would say, that's great. And day after day, I was doing this, obsessed with my team, but knowing that I should be working on myself. So I was caught up in some kind of weird mental battle where I knew I should be doing something else, but wasn't. Or I tried to, but couldn't concentrate as I was so focused on my game. That's pressure. The fact that my focus and concentration is absolutely awful, and every 2 seconds I feel like getting that bitch out of my pocket and scrolling to oblivion, is pressure. The fact that my sex drive, energy and lust for life has been stolen by consumption of degrading and disgusting porn is pressure. Pressure would be continuing to waste my life and potential till I wake up from a stupor in 10 years, 40 years old and a failure. Now that's pressure.